Hey guys, how it going? This is Yara Spark. We're back here in Elite Dangerous on another shipbuilding guide. Today I am here with the Krait Phantom, and this is a combat build. An overall summary of the Phantom compared to the Krait. They basically are the same chassis, but play very totally different roles and ways. But I have it built in a very similar way compared to the other Krait because it can. Or at least my Krait. So let's go over that. For the hardpoints, I have three APAs. The larges are Efficient 5, with one with Dispersal Field and the other with Target Lock Breaker. So to keep things very simple. And to make up for the lost large that I had on the Krait Mark II, I actually overcharged this to 5 and put oversize, which pushes me very close to the same PA damage. Sadly, with doing this, I do lose my other railgun, so I had to just run one long range 5 with feedback cascade rail. It makes it a little bit weird to aim now, but I am getting used to it, and I'm decently good at rail sniping anyways, so it shouldn't be a problem. But hey, if you guys are used to dual railing like I was on the Mark II, it might be a weird transition. Now for the utility slots, I do have two shield boosters with heavy duty and force block. Yeah. It's to overall give the shield strength, like absolute, and then have a resistant augmented with force block to bump your resistances up, which helps the shields out a lot and can make a very big difference. Also, when heat sink with ammo to be able to dispense heat when after you double bank. I do have this set up as a hybrid, but you guys can modify it as you see fit. But this is how I'm doing it. For the core internals, we have reactive armor with heavy duty and deep plating, grade 5. So yeah, I have undersized the power plant to save on weight, and I didn't need that much power, so it's a very handy little thing I did. With it though, I did have to monstrous a little bit, so it's really not that big of a problem, but I have it as armored, so it still has really good integrity, still has really good heat efficiency, it still has decent power capacity. I do need to turn off the cargo hatch and the frame shift drive, I think, in order to run the ship, but you can put a 7's A power plant on if you feel like you need to. I run the 6A thrusters with dirty drive and drag drives. This ship is ridiculously fast compared to the Mark II, but it is 100 tons less. So you have to kind of understand that in order to be able to ram now, you actually have to kind of think about it and make sure what you're ramming is worth it. In the Mark II, you were pretty heavy, so you didn't have to worry about as much. But now you actually kind of have to think. But most things you fight, other than Alliance ships, you should be able to ram perfectly fine. Obviously, big ships like the Big 4 or something you don't want to be ramming. For the frame shift drive, I have it as shielded FSD-5 with mass manager. The ship actually does have a decent jump range of 21, and that's not bad for a combat ship in my opinion. It's better than my Mark II, I would say, because as I said, that 100 tons less makes a lot of difference in order for your maneuverability and getting overall performance, but it does suck for ramming potential. For the life support, I have it as miscellaneous lightweight 4. Pretty standard at that point. The 7A distro is charged enhanced 5 with superconductance, very common amongst all builds. This ship does perma boost at 2 pips to engines. It recharges the shields fast if you're using bi-weaves. It recharges your weapons fast. I personally can get 2 salvos off of my weapons off of 1 weapon recharge or 1 full weapon capacity in my pips. So Should be pretty good, guys. For the sensors, I'm pretty sure they are grade 5, no, miscellaneous, or lightweight scanner 5 or 4. Pretty sure it went up to 5. I think I might just be missing one, but could be wrong. Also, to save on some weight, I did put a 8-ton fuel tank on the ship. I can't get really far in it, but I taxi my ships most of the time, so it's really not that big of a problem. But you guys can put on whatever size fuel tank you want. Personally, it saves me about 3 meters per second in speed, but hey, I like speed as something I benefit from a lot. The ship does turn and burn with FDLs more than my Mark II. My Mark II was more of a jousty ship, so it's a very different playstyle, and I'm still even learning from it, and this might just be the first volume or iteration of this build, so you might see a future one. We'll have to see. For the optional internals, we have a 6A shield cell bank. I did undersize the shields to a 5C biweave, but these shield cell banks are using rapid charge shield cell banks with recycling cells, very common amongst PvP. You want to be able to get those shields off as fast as possible. It is 3.5 seconds, it just rounds to 4, so don't worry about that if you're like, wow, only 1 second. It's actually 1.5. 1.5 seconds can make a difference, especially in a ship this big. But at least this is not as big as a Mamba. For the 5C biweave, you're only looking at a 20-second difference between the recharge and recovery, if I'm correct, which seems like a lot. And you are losing 100, overall 100 absolute megajoules. But with having that 6A cell bank, you gain an extra 800 megajoules of recovery shields from using your banks. So in overall terms, I would say this is a better way of having your shields. I'm still testing it personally, so I'm not 100% sure, but it's what I feel comfortable with, and it seems to work. But as I said, this is my first iteration of this build. For my biweaves though, I am using thermal resistant with fast charge. For the Guardian Shield Reinforcement Package, it's just a grade 5 shield booster. If you guys don't have access to this, I really couldn't say what to put here other than a hull reinforcement package. Your overall shields will suffer, so you might have to run a very awkward setup. That is kind of what's weird about this build, is that it does need this Guardian Shield reinforcement. So either take this with a grain of salt or try to work around it if you don't have it, but this is what I'm using. For the rest of them, I have these two as heavy duty reinforcement with deep plating, while I have this one here as thermal resistant hull reinforcement with deep plating to counteract the reactive armor that I have on, so I have really good resistances. I have a Guardian module reinforcement package on because I get the 10% extra integrity. A normal module reinforcement package will be fine, just I have access to this, so this is what I'm using. There is a only problem with using this though is that it does take power, and it can be sight-towed by the scrambler thing, lasers. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt. I personally don't see them a lot, so I use it anyways, and it has saved me before. So yeah, it's really not that bad an idea, guys, to be able to go out and get those Guardian stuff. Really, they're really not that bad, and I'm pretty sure you can find help from anyone to go out there and show you how it's done. But yeah, that is my Krait Phantom build guide. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. It does help the channel, and it helps to keep up with future content. And until then, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.